outside is frightful, but this movie's so damn delightful. But it's so twisted in the head. Just don't feed out your midnight, you might end up dead. What's up, guys? Yes, I did that in song, and I literally just made that up. What's up? What's happening? What's going on? Welcome back to Animation Station. This is for anything in the animation. Welcome to our little Christmas movie marathon, starting with this one right here. Oh, first of all, I should talk a little bit about it, I guess, right? Sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained. Welcome to what I like to call Seasons Slashings. Now, what this pretty much is that it's going to be a marathon where I review some Christmas movies you may or may not have already heard of, as well as some horror films. Because I'm a horror nut and that's what I do. So, however, I should preference the fact that this isn't actually the first time I've done this. On Limited Staying 27, I did a marathon like this where I covered the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies. So if you're wondering why those aren't in there, it's because I've already reviewed them. And then here on Animation Station, of course, obviously I did 25 Days of Holidays. I did a bunch of those specials. So not a lot of this is going to be very new. So it's not new territory for me. And while I am still firm on my belief that Halloween is better than Christmas, yeah, I said it, fight me, I still love this time of year. And I thought, what better way to celebrate this time of year than taking a look at some Christmas classics, as well as some Christmas slasher fest. So I thought to myself, well, let's make a funny pun on Seasons Greetings. Seasons Slashings came to be. And while this one isn't technically a slasher or really a horror film, I'm still putting it in the category of horror because these guys are horror icons, guys. Let's not even kid ourselves here. So, without further ado, welcome back to Animation Station. Welcome to Seasons welcome to Seasons Slashings, and welcome to Day 1 with Gremlins. This is one of those super famous Christmas movies I did not review in my original marathon on Limited Staying 27. So I thought, what's a better one to start off with? I mean, I've never seen it before up until now. I only heard good things about it, but I've never actually, sat down and watched it myself. I gotta put my thumb here or else this thing's loose. But point is, up until this point, I have never seen the original Gremlins before. I've heard things about it, I've seen clips about it everywhere, but I've never actually watched it by myself in all its entirety. Until today. And this movie's fucking awesome. Like, I'm not even gonna try to dance around the fact. And not only that, this is technically a kid's movie too. This is PG. And it's not even a few, weeks after it came out that the PG-13 rating became, a thing. So yeah, this movie's revolutionary, this movie's well known, this movie's funny, this movie's dark, this movie is delightful. It's everything you want in a Christmas horror movie, just not super gory, unless you look from the Gremlins side of things, in which case it is very, very violent, so. Without further ado or delays, here's my written review. I hope you guys enjoy. And like I said, this is coming from a first-time perspective. I'm not one of those people that grew up with this movie or have seen it when I was a kid. No, this was a first-time watch. Off VHS tape I literally got not even a few weeks ago. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Cold weather, snowfall, a certain type of music on all the radios, and demons raising all kinds of hell. Looks like the horror days have arrived. And let's begin our season slashings. See what I did there? Let's start with the first time watching a bona fide classic, Gremlins. And there's a lot to love about it. The great characters, especially Gizmo, who's the most adorable thing ever. Like, try to make a try not to die of cuteness challenge of Gizmo. Of just all the clips of Gizmo in this movie. He is funny, he's adorable, and he is just, he's just so cute. Like, it's one of the most adorable things I've ever seen in a motion picture. He's that cute. He's that adorable. And his voice was provided by Howie Mandel. Yes, that Howie Mandel. And it's a really good voice role, and Gizmo is arguably the most iconic character in this movie, aside from, obviously, Stripe, the main villain. But outside of that, Gizmo's adorable. that automatically gets this movie points. Great acting, excellent and surprisingly original story that's not really fitting into one genre. It's more of a blending of different genres altogether to become its own separate thing, which is interesting. Outstanding practical effects and animatronic puppetry that gives Chucky a run for his money. Like, the animatronics in this movie are amazing. Most of the effects in this movie are 100% practical. There is little to no CGI whatsoever. Hilarious dark humor, like, this movie is very sick and twisted, and some of the jokes are very, very adult. But if you're a kid and watching this, it flies over your head. But adults, you'd be like, I see what you did there. You know, that kind of thing. But yeah, the dark humor in this movie is amazing. Very violent deaths despite being PG. Stripe and the microwave gremlin are my personal favorites. Yeah. The deaths of the gremlins in this movie are brutal. There's one gremlin that gets their head sliced to bits. There is one gremlin who gets exploded in a microwave, which would later be parodied by The Simpsons in one of their Treehouse of Horror segments. And then, of course, there's Stripe himself. And his death is amazing. Like, it's some of the coolest, most awesome freaking disintegration stop-motion deaths that you will ever see in any movie. Horror or otherwise. It is so freaking good. Such a cool death. Such a cool death. Great directing by Joe Dante. Yes, not Steven Spielberg, as this movie would try to lead you to believe. Steven Spielberg is the producer, not the director. Just like Henry Selick is the director of Nightmare Before Christmas, not Tim Burton. So, yeah. But they only market it with the bigger names, that way it can sell more copies. It's a sad thing about Hollywood that needs to change. A ton of fun Easter eggs to other pop culture icons and references to other real-life things, including Disney, believe it or not. Like, there's a whole scene in this movie, minor spoiler, there's one whole scene in this movie where there's Stripe and his giant bunch of gremlins are sitting in a movie theater, and they're all watching Snow White. This is a Warner Brothers movie that has a Disney movie in it, and it didn't get sued for copyright. Man, the 80s were something else, man. Which legit surprised me since this is a Warner Brothers movie. Excellent pacing, a brisk runtime of only 106 minutes. Like, this movie's only 6 minutes longer than Willy Wonka. Think about that. Wonderful Christmas atmosphere that represents the holiday very well, even though it is very much a background thing. But it's still prominent throughout the movie, and I still get those warm, fuzzy Christmas feelings. And pretty high rewatchability. I have a feeling this is another one of those movies that, just like Christmas Story, which I saw for the first time last year, I'm going to be adding it to my must-watch stuff every single year from now on. Because damn, this movie's good. However, one minor complaint I do have with it is that they overuse the same exact cheap-ass jump scare multiple times. You know, like, you have a character go into a room. They try to find this thing. They get jump scared by the thing, and then it results in either them running away or getting killed by it. It is a freaking jump scare you have seen 1,000 times in 1,000 other movies, and even for the 80s, this was overdone as fuck, so... I mean, which I'd be fine with if it was just once or twice, but no, it's used so many times it becomes obnoxious, so... That's literally my only complaint with this movie, the exuberant amount of forced, cheap, repetitious jump scares. Despite that one flaw, though, I can definitely see where all the praise has been coming from now. Gremlins is a funny, twisted, dark, relentlessly violent, and very entertaining Christmas film that's more than earned its classic status. Final verdict for this little Christmas cult classic is a 9 out of 10. It might go up to a 10 after some rewatch value in the next few years or so. It is a fun movie, it's a violent movie, and it's that kind of Christmas film that teeters that line between actually being a Christmas film, because it has the warm fuzziness, it has the adorable character, but it also has hell-raising little maniacal motherfuckers, and lots of bloody violence. Even though, again, the gore is mainly from the Gremlins because they can use green blood, and that means they don't have to be worried about getting fucked by the MPAA, but you guys know that whole spiel by now if you're a horror fan. So yeah, final verdict is a 9 out of 10. Highly recommended, especially for horror movie fanatics who are looking for some devilish delight and some slaughter in their sleigh ride. Just, don't feed this after midnight, because it might come back and kill you in your sleep. Just a fair warning. And that's my review of Gremlins. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time when we continue our little slaughterous sleigh ride with Gremlins 2, The New Batch. I've heard it's not as good as the original, but I've heard it's still a decent movie. So, you know what? Going in with decent expectations. How is it? I'll tell you all about it tomorrow. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.